Hey, how's it going? Coach Kyle here, and at the end of November 2020, I started a new project. Something, I've been running for over a decade, and it's something I've never done before, and it's training by power. So, if you want to learn more about my experience training by power and my thoughts, stay tuned, watch this video. So the first thing I did when I started training by power is buy a device that measures power. So I purchased the Coros Pace 2 GPS running watch, and you can see that right there. Beautiful watch. I think this is the lightest GPS watch on the market at this time, and it is $200 MSRP. I absolutely love it. Check out my review of this watch right up here. There's a discount code in there for a free accessory. I got this watch band, and then I got a free different type of Velcro type watch band with it as well. And it's nice to have the two options. And this watch is, I believe, one of the first watches, maybe the first, to give an accurate estimate of power output while running without a foot pod. And you might be familiar with the Stryd foot pod. Well, DC Rainmaker did a comparison between the Stryd foot pod, which was really the first accurate device wearable to measure power output while running. And he found that this was totally a comparable good option. And the nice thing is, this costs just a little bit more than the Stryd foot pod, and it does the same thing, almost maybe as equally as well. Aside from the power measurement, this is just a darn good GPS. So first off, why use power? Well, power is kind of like heart rate, kind of like the Strava grade adjusted pace. Whereas if you're running, you do an FTP, a functional threshold power test, kind of like a max heart rate test, kind of like a time trial. You get that fitness benchmark, and then what you do is you can take that benchmark and you can estimate, you can get suggestions for tempo run, heart rate, or pace, or power output, wattage. And it's just another way, like perceived exertion. It's just another way to get a good suggestion on what range to run your runs in. If it's an easy run, it should be under this heart rate, under this power wattage. If it's a tempo run, mine is between 260 and 280 watts is my tempo run range. And so it's just another way. And with my clients, I work with a variety of ranges like this, and it's really about just determining which one do you prefer, which one works best for this runner. And it might be, as is often the case, that a different type of measurement, heart rate, wattage, perceived exertion, pace, works most optimally on different types of runs. Okay, so we're back. So how do you determine your power zones? Well, you do a functional threshold test, an FTP. You determine your functional threshold power. And again, for heart rate, you do a max heart rate test. For pacing, you do a 2K time trial or a 5K race or something. Okay, so here we are on Strava, and you can see the hour right here. And you can see the 3 minutes right there, the 9 minutes right there. And I don't have my power setting on here. Let's look at the laps. I wonder if that'll give us that data. Nope, it doesn't give us that data. But on the Coros app, I have the data. And so I took the power from this little section here, 543 mile, and this mile and a half. I did a mile and a half. You're only supposed to do 9 minutes, but whatever. And I averaged a 6:15. Let's jump over to the app quick. Okay, so here we are in the Coros app, and I just wanted to show you quick the running power. So you can see the running power right there. My max, 416, average, 237. But let's go down here, bloop, to the laps, and you can see that that 3 minute section I averaged 346, and the 9 minute section I averaged 308. So the average there times 0.9. Okay, so that 294 gives me my power zones. And today I did my first workout by power, and it was interesting. So typically I do my workouts, my tempo runs, by pace ranges. I would take a 2K time trial, plug it into a running calculator, and I would get pace ranges. this is the first time I've ever used power. First time I ever tried to run within a power zone. And it was interesting because unlike pace or heart rate, power changes very quickly. You hit a hill and your power instantly changes. Your pace changes pretty quickly, but you can modulate that because I feel like I can feel that a little better. And with heart rate changes slower. And so there's not as drastic of a change. But with this, right before I went into the tempo section, I turned on my alerts for that 260 to 280 watts. That was the goal range for my tempo run. And the first 10 minutes of it was uphill. And it was interesting. Actually, let's go back over to Strava. Okay, so here is my tempo run from today. And you can see here, for the tempo section, I averaged a 7:15, 156 average heart rate, 270 average watts. So I was right in the middle of that goal, 260 to 280. And let's look at the laps here. So you can see the first half of the tempo run was uphill, second half was downhill. And during this, I had it was actually kind of hard to stay in that goal power zone, because when you're running, and this is similar to heart rate, when you're running downhill, you really have to hammer it to hit a goal, to stay in a moderate kind of heart rate or power zone. But for that last 10 minutes of the net downhill tempo section, I did average, now we're looking at the phone, I did average a 656 pace and a 267 wattage. And so I averaged 270 going out uphill and 269 going downhill. But it was going uphill, I was kind of holding back, and going downhill, I really had to consciously focus on hitting that goal, just pushing it, because I needed to stay in that, say, above 260. And the biggest thing I noticed with power, running by power, was that, like I said, it changes really quickly. And with heart rate, if I'm doing an easy run, I might do the Maffetone method, stay under 150 beats per minute average heart rate, current heart rate, not average. And with that, if I hit 149, I can dial it back a little bit, my effort, and my heart rate slowly drops. But with wattage, it goes down straight away. And what I was using was a 30-second average. So the last 30 seconds, I would see the average wattage. And that was helpful. I think what I'll do next time is have the 3 or the 5 second rolling average wattage. That gives me kind of a current last 3 seconds current wattage. And then I have the watch giving me alerts if I go too low or too high. And there were times where I never would have guessed, the alert would go off and I couldn't tell you if I was at 250 or 290. I'm not used to it yet, so I haven't figured that out. I haven't gotten those feelings yet. Okay, just got back from an easy 10 miler, and one thing I've noticed with training by power with my Coros watch is that the different levels are only apart by about 30 watts. And so my endurance effort, my wattage, is 230 to 260. And earlier on this month when I was training by wattage, I would set my upper limit and my lower limit 230 to 260. I have some alerts and I can't tell them apart. I don't know if they're different or not, the alerts on this watch. I'm not sure. It is different than the lap alert, thank God, but I can't tell the high and low apart. So what I've learned is that, in my experience anyway, it's easier to just have that upper limit alert. And so today, for example, the ideal range is 230 to 260, but I just had an alert set for 260. And how it works, how I do it is I'm running easy, I'm giving it a little bit of effort. It's not a jog, it's not like I'm running 9-minute pace. I'm running, what did I do, maybe 8:30s going out. and it was all climbing. I only descended like 33 feet, and half of it is in the first quarter mile here. So average heart rate 143, average wattage 240. So I was right in that goal average watt zone, and I think having that upper limit alert is the way to go, because if I give it some effort, I'm not jogging it like I said, but I'm giving it a little bit of an oomph for an easy run, still conversational pace, and if I hit a good incline, or I don't think I lose focus, or I get too in the zone and my watch goes off, I know, okay, dial it back for a second. I'm just running a little too hard right now for that easy run. But then when I turn around and come all the way downhill, I dropped 470 feet, which I climbed going out. I realized that, and I've noticed this before through this last month training by power, is that downhill running by power, it's hard to get to 260 watts. I'm doing like 730s coming down, and I'm giving it some pretty good oomph to even run in that 240 zone. So it's been fun, actually, I'm such a sandbagger with my easy running, like plodding. And nothing better to do that than to run too hard too often, but it's fun to kind of give it a little bit of a go and run 730s downhill on an easy run. And with my tempo run, so I did a tempo run recently, earlier this week, and it was Easy 2, Mod 4, Easy 2, and it was a huge climb for a couple miles in that. And I feel like the wattage, I'll have to go back and look, I feel like the wattage was wrong for a while, but today anyway, and for flat tempo runs, I've really realized and noticed that, again, even for tempo runs, setting that high wattage alert is the way to go. Set it for 280, and if I hit that, I'm giving it more effort than the easy run, and I find that if I hit that 279, my alert goes off, I know to dial it back a little bit. And again, same thing as with the easy runs. During those tempo runs, it would only really happen is if like I pass somebody, or I'm coming up behind somebody, or I hit like a good little extra steep incline, or not so much of a decline on a descent mile, and takes a little more effort. But so other than those, like even I'm running mostly by effort, and once in a while I get the whoa, slow down alert from the wattage, and that's been really nice, is that it lets me run by effort. I'm just realizing this right now. That I think is the nice thing about power, is it complements my typical running by effort really well, in that I run by effort for these easy runs, the tempo runs, but if I overextend just a smidge, it's like, whoa, hey, ding, ding, ding. Actually, it's like ding, ding, or beep, beep. Then I'm like, hey, whoa, dial back just a smidge, Kyle. Hey, pay attention. But the same thing for like 400s. It's just too short. I just run it by effort hard, basically. And I was doing those about 225, 125, 130. And I like it. I think I will continue running by power for my easy runs, my tempo runs. It's gonna snow eventually, and I'll have to move. I won't have access to the track, but I think eventually I'll get back to running on the track and use the time and the track for that. I haven't used the track mode on the Coros yet. I haven't done much track running, honestly, since getting it. I got it, the week before my marathon, so I haven't really had much of an opportunity to do that yet. But with the easy runs and the tempo runs, I have enjoyed running by power, especially like the route I did today. It's 5 miles, actually it could be 10 miles if I wanted to, straight up, almost no decline. And it's nice having that, okay, 260 to 280 watts for that tempo power going uphill. You don't have, it does the adjustment, the grade adjusted pace almost for me. Because before, it'd be like, okay, do I run sub 7 for my tempo runs going out uphill? It does the adjustment for me, so I don't have to think about my pace. And it's been nice not running by pace, just kind of running by effort plus power. So I really like that. I think I will definitely continue that. I will have to experiment with racing by power, probably just with more tempo runs. Decide, and it depends on the course as well. If I do the Brookings or Fargo marathons this spring, they're both pancake flat, and there speed, the goal pace works because it's so flat. But we'll see. We'll just have to experiment with it more. But for training for my easy and my tempo runs, so far I'm a fan, and I like the wattage for those two. And I don't care for the heart rate so much because I like wearing the watch a little looser than I think the heart rate likes. So I like the power. I wish I could turn the heart rate off, but I don't think there's a way to do that. So that's just sucking up battery back here. Sucking up battery. 30 hours of GPS. Yeah, there's a lot of battery to suck up. But so that's my experience with training by power and with the Coros watch. Is I really enjoyed it. Forward, I will continue training by power, at least for my tempo and my easy runs. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions or comments about training by power, any tips for future Kyle going forward as I continue to train by power, I would appreciate them. This is a new training aspect for me, and I will continue experimenting. But any tips, any pieces of advice you could give me with your experience training by power, I would appreciate it. So thanks for watching. Give this video a like, a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Helps me, helps the channel, helps other runners find this video. And as always, you keep running, I'll keep coaching.